Hey, Theory, how's it going?
Adiko. Oh,
How you feeling, man?
it's feeling good. I feel like I redeemed myself from last week.
Nice, nice. So, I mean, let's start with last week, of course, for people that might not have the context. What exactly happened last week that makes you go, you know what, this is a win that I absolutely wanted to get today?
Sorry, I like can't focus right now. But
All good, all
uh,
good.
so last week in EGC 10K, um, I lost to Hydra 2-0 in the final round of the qualifiers. Hydra is extremely good, so no shame losing there. But I still wanted to make the finals of the EGC, so it was kind of a disappointment. But to be able to come back strong the next week and win this tournament feels really good.
Yeah, and I think something that I want to start with as well is that your first round match was not an easy one either. You ended up facing Night Phoenix, who was somebody who did end up going through the top 16 finals. And I mean, I joked about it being, maybe we have to change the seating a little bit to start, but we stick to it because Night Phoenix went through the tiebreaker group. But the thing that I really want to know is how you were feeling going into the matchup. Were you getting ready to think about like, hey, I'm gonna win this and go through the upper side, or were you readying yourself for like, okay, well, I'm gonna go through the lowers and I'm gonna do the hero round that ended up being Mixu's storyline? So how are you feeling? How were you feeling on that round one match?
I wasn't very confident. Night Phoenix usually beats me, so I didn't have a lot of confidence going into that match. Um, him being EGC top eight, actually every player except for Mixu I played in this tournament was EGC finalist. So it was a really brutal run. Every round I just took it round by round, and I just came in with a good game plan.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you had a pretty strong lineup to face against. You got Night Phoenix, Keld, and Probe, and finally Hydra, which, like you said, it feels very much like a redemption. Was there anybody else? Like, were all of those the matches you didn't want to necessarily take on the upper side? Or was it a case of like everybody in that bracket would have been nasty for you? What was there somebody that you managed to dodge that you're happy you were able to dodge?
So yeah, every single round was a worst case scenario, I feel. Um, Worst case scenario every single round. I didn't want to play Night Phoenix. I didn't want to play Kel. I didn't want to play Probe. Um, I certainly didn't want to play Hydra. So it was just brutal game after brutal game. And then I was kind of happy Probe was eliminated in the lower spread. Well, I wasn't happy for him, but I was happy for me, I guess, that I didn't have to play him again.
So we have
Because I
a
think he might have beaten
question.
me in a rematch.
Nice. So we have a question from the chat here coming from Sireb, who actually donated 400 to
Oh
towards
my
the end
god,
here of the tournament to help out, and he's
that's
asking,
so generous.
yeah, who was the most enjoyable matchup? Which one did you have the most fun with? I think that on some level, a good amount of stress about the match is also fun, but I want to know like mentally, where did you feel like you were playing like at your best, or that you had the most fun with on the bracket?
Um, all the games were good. It's actually insane how close every series was. I could have lost any of those series. If you saw the games, every single series I either won 2-1 barely or 3-2 barely, or I absolutely stole a game. In Kel series, I absolutely stole a game with no units left, just somehow snowballing fiends with what I had left. Versus Probe, I stole a game on Titan's Causeway. And then today, you guys saw that last game. I had no business winning that game.
We
I
also the hero fiend.
So which one was the most enjoyable? I don't know. Probably this. It's hard to say. It's
So
hard to say. Probe maybe. I felt like I played really well versus Probe, so I'll say Probe.
so you also faced two of the highest placing Vanguard players. You face Mixu, obviously, who is now the second place player, and he's actually going to be taking home $121. You are going to be taking home $203 so far. Obviously, donation is still open for anybody who wants to donate more into the Macherino. But what I want to know is between those two Vanguards that were clearly a level above the other Vanguard players in the bracket, like Donilia and even Azur, what do you think makes the difference between a really good Vanguard player and somebody who is like, sure, a top 16 Vanguard player, but not necessarily somebody who's going to be coming out of the gates and killing you. And I know you recently played in a show match as well against Kiwan, who is another fantastic top Vanguard player. So I'm interested to hear what the differences might be in between them.
Yeah, I think the best Vanguard players slow me down a lot. They don't let me freely take a fourth base and drop them with imps to death. If you noticed, I usually play very heavy imp drop style, but I didn't pull off, I don't think, a single successful imp drop versus Mixu, or maybe one in the Broken Crown Gasline game. But that was one drop out of 5 games. This this is very uncommon for me. Usually my whole style revolves around that. So I think just controlling the Doombringer and slowing your opponent down.
So then onto your infernal opponents, you obviously had to face against Night Phoenix to start things out, and then you had to face Kel immediately after, and obviously High Hydra for the upper finals this morning. And what I interesting to hear is that, at least from my perspective as a viewer, it has been a battle between Doombringers for the most part. It has been about the psychological toll that it takes to having to manage not only the Doombringer that you're attacking with, but the one that you're defending your base with. And I'm interested to hear from, well, the best player in the bracket. What kinds of ideas do you think a sort of mid-level player, I don't want to throw any names that are wrong, so I'm just going to say, for example, Baka, one of your teammates here on Aftermath. Obviously, he's going to be coaching, he's going to be working with you as a teammate on VTL later on next week and stuff like that. What are some of the ideas that you're going to be trying to get him to internalize so he has a better Inferno versus Inferno matchup, which is the thing that he actually went down to? He lost to Ray Rain to 1, and he lost to KRAS to 0. So what are some of the things that you're going to be looking for that Infernal player to catch up on to have better results on that particular matchup?
I think the most important thing to be able to get to this phase of drops and stuff is you want to get your drops faster than your opponent because that's the best option on most maps. And to do that, you need to take over the majority of creep camps, which is a little bit of micro, a little bit of mind games, and having an optimized creep path. I don't think hatch first builds work in the current iteration of Stormgate. Creeps are too valuable. So I would recommend focusing on your optimizing your creep routes, and that way you get more money to get that drop faster.
Nice, awesome. So, of course, we have to look into the future. We have a couple more weeks of the beta to play, and at least, to do a little bit of shelling on my side, there is the Vulcan Team League, which I know Aftermath is going to be playing in. I know a couple of the people who have been in this bracket are also going to be participating, and there's also going to be 2 more tanks for what will be Season 1. And I'm very interested to hear on the short term, within these 2 weeks, what are some of the big goals that you want to achieve, both as an individual player and as a team? And then looking into the future, we know that there's going to be early access later on this year. What are some of the things that you and Aftermath are going to be looking to build towards as you continue on alongside the development of Stormgate?
Yeah, so definitely shout out to Aftermath for being an awesome teammates to practice with me. So as a player for Aftermath, I'm going to focus on closing out this phase of the beta strong. Um, I want to win everything I can. I love this game so much, and I'll definitely play in the VTL. Our goal is to win the VTL as a team, and I'll play in any tank cups that I'm available to play in. And I really appreciate you for hosting all these cups. These cups have kind of they're the reason I'm in the spotlight all the time. It's because of these cups.
Awesome. Thank you. So, very last questions before I let you go and enjoy the rest. I'm sure that you're going to get a call by parting sometime in the near future, being like, congratulations on winning as well. Like, he might be much more energetic than any of us. But I do want you to give a time to shout out your socials, shout out Aftermath socials. Where can people find you? Where can people find more Aftermath? Where can they see you play? All of that fun stuff. Go ahead and throw it out there for the people.
Cool. Thank you so much. Definitely shout out Aftermath, AME socials on Twitter and other social medias. Shout out to my friends and family who watched. I know my parents are watching back home, so that's kind of cool. And uh, check me out on Twitch TV/Theory or Twitter Theory SC2.
Awesome, fantastic. And since you have a stream, when are you going to be streaming next so that people know? While I go ahead and prepare a shadow command for you, actually.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Maybe I'll have a short victory stream tonight.
Tonight, a celebratory stream. Yeah, let's go. And so, again, congratulations, Siri. Congratulations on the win. I know you've been working hard on the tank win, and I'm sure, of course, it would have been very, very nice to pair it up with an EGC top 8, top 4, even win there. But of course, again, congratulations. Thank you so much for playing, and we'll see you when we see you, my friend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Rico.
Have a good one. See you.
You too. Thank you.